Hello everybody and welcome to the final video of Hugo's story. Equip the Daybreak Talisman because I don't want to die, it's a long boss fight. And now... Hello, Dallas. Sorry about that. Hey, it was some terrible candy and you knew it. Hugo, he has learned to critically think. And Hugo figures out the purpose of the ritual immediately. Oh. Well, obviously. My dear Hugo, you don't have a choice. Yep, Dallas is still a better wizard than you are, Hugo. Well, and that too. Sorry about that. Well, Ray gave the game away, so Dallas is just gonna have to blast us now. And here we go. By the way, those are manually triggered dialogue boxes, so you can leave Dallas blasting Hugo for as long as you want. Well, that can be arranged, Hugo! Sorry about that, some things need to be rearranged. But now Hugo is facing the Galaxy Buster. Wait, Planet Buster! What is wrong with me? How? Well, you've managed to actually make some friends somehow. Supercharge Eyes! Indeed. But you haven't won the ball game yet, Hugo. Okay, Dallas. He is easier to hit, especially in the first phase. Your best tool for fighting Dallas is actually the Force Shield, much to my surprise. He doesn't have any really different patterns for Hugo. And first phase won't be a problem because of the range that Hugo is able to keep. It's the second phase where things get a little bit more problematic, because now you actually have to use the shield offensively. And considering all the shots that he spews out, it's kind of hard to keep it on sometimes. Shield is less of a pain to deal with, considering that Hugo's charged fire skill actually has range. And his fire skill is actually a bit more damaging to Dallas than his normal attack, so take your pick of what weapon you want to use against him. The Earth Cycle is pretty easy to bypass considering how many times the Trap Mine Explosion hits. However, Dallas will try to move around away from it on occasion, making it a bit tricky to catch him in the full blast. Once the shield is gone, though, it's no problem. The third phase is where things get pretty hairy. Because Hugo is so slow, there are times when Dallas will choose to spam certain attacks that you can't really do all that much about. And if you're unlucky, well, you may end up outright having to use that Daybreak Talisman. Hugo just doesn't have the skill set to get away from things quickly. Other than that caveat, getting rid of Dallas's little helpers is a bit easier than it is for, say, Unica, because Hugo has the range once again. See, all that beam spam. I should have noticed though that I had a full boost bar. Would have saved me from some grief. By the way, getting caught by those sucking vortexes is a really, really bad thing. It is completely full of bad. Okay, managed to block that beam with Hugo's burst. I somehow managed to actually avoid this one. I'm going to have to take a closer look later to see how that actually happened. And it's done, and he summons a vortex right beneath me, which I can't do anything about, so, GG, bros. Thankfully, I remembered to equip the Daybreak Talisman, which means that Dallas is done for. By the way, by this point, some of you may have noticed that Dallas has an experience value. Just saying, some of you might have noticed that. Well, that's what happens when you don't have a good imagination. Oh. See you next story, Dallas. Do not touch. Not even for science. Man, I spent too long on that text box. It's just, I am. And cutscene. Well, now that's settled, it's time for tragic business. Sorry, Unica, can't be helped. Continuity and all. You know, Hugo and all those other people. Thank you, Hugo. Yeah, just where is Toll, anyway? What? Well, okay. Well, Hugo resisted the demonic influence eventually. Oh, sorry, Unica, this was just gonna happen. Especially in your story, but it was gonna happen. Yeah, they never see Unica again, but it's the Tovas who end up being the major keepers of the lore of Ys in Ys 1 and 2. Yep, we need to go back, tell them what happened, and make Priest Fact fly into a rage. Not just for, you know, not finding Toll, but Because Hugo has no intention of returning. Toll does not need worrying about from what we've seen. So, this is how the usual suspects end up staying behind. Yeah, that's what he just said, or something or other. Yeah, Kane Fact, from what we've seen so far, does not seem like the most even-minded person. Okay, and that was sure Hugo's story. It feels kind of odd to say that there's only like 13 videos or so left, considering that each one of these stories has been longer than some of my whole playthroughs of other games. But that was the risk I took when I started this whole thing. Hugo's story is one of the few I've seen where you play a genuinely deeply flawed protagonist in this kind of RPG, and especially in Falcom games. I mean, Popful Mail was comedically flawed, and Falcom, Where Is My Popful Mail complete? But never anything like Hugo. However, the long and the short of it is that there's only really one story left to go. And that one is going to be quite a ride because of, not just the story differences, but because some of the gameplay differences, because we won't be able to rely on some of the same artifacts in the next story. And it's running through anyone who was ever tangentially involved with the game. Like the president. I mean, what do they do in the company? By the way, I'm really hoping that Trails in the Sky goes smoothly for Xseed. And East flies away into the wild blue yonder. And there again is that gleam under the rhoda. And I will be seeing you next time where we start the final story of Ys Origin. See you then. Bye.